This is the submission for Twitter part 2 by Maulak Agarwal and Nishant Agarwal. Now let's quickly start the application, for which I'll do mix.phs.server. Now this will get my application started. Now I can navigate to my localhost 4000/login, where this is the screen wherein the person can log in. Now I'll just start on with registering a user 1234. Now this should ideally give me an error because this user hasn't been registered, so I can use this link to register this user now. So clicking on this will navigate me to the register page. Now here I can again do the registration for this particular user. Now as soon as I do this registration, so registration has been successful, so the user navigates to its home screen wherein he can see everything. But since now this is a new user and he doesn't has any tweets, neither he has any followers, so the dashboard looks empty. And I can again let's register one more user for making this application more friendly. I can navigate to register. This time I can do student3 with the password. Now this user has also been registered. Now same screen has been viewed as we see for the second student. Now I can quickly let you see the DB as well. Now in the DB part, this is the register DB which contains all the user information. So I already have some users pre-registered. So I can see here student 2 and student 3 has been registered successfully. Now what I can do is I navigate to student 1 and I tweet a tweet on this using this tweet dashboard. So I can tweet my first tweet. I can use some hashtags and also I can mention student 1 here. So as I tweet, so we can see on my dashboard, like I can see that I have tweeted this tweet. Now it shows me like student 2 is tweeting this tweet. Now I can do what I can do is I can do add followers here, but before that we can just navigate to the DB, seeing what all entries have been made. Now as I can see, there's a tweets DB, so this is the DB which contains all the tweets by the users. If I navigate down, I can see for the user 17, which is student 2, I have an entry which is my tweet and the whole tweet that the user tweeted. Also, because it contains the hashtag, so I can see in my hashtags DB that these hashtags got registered for this particular tweet. So there were 3 hashtags which got registered for the tweet ID 82. And similarly I can go to the mentions, which is the user mentions in a particular tweet. So since this tweet contains one user, so I can again see for the same tweet ID I have a user mention add student 1. Now using my add followers link, I can add followers to this particular user. So this is the dashboard wherein he'll see all the users which he can actually follow. Right now, since he's not following anyone, so on the right hand side we see there are all follow links available. So I can go down there, since this is student 3, so I can actually follow student 3 here. Now I can again go back to my home screen using this home button. So as I come here, I see my tweet. Now what we do is I tweet again on the student 3 dashboard. I tweet a tweet. So my tweet to my tweet for submission. Again he tweets with certain hashtags. Now I tweet this tweet. So student 3 has tweeted now, you can see on his screen. But since student 2 is already a follower, student 2 is following student 3, so he should be able to see his tweet as well. So as if I refresh this page, I can quickly see that student 3's tweet is now visible to student 2's dashboard, because student 2 is actually following student 3. Now if I again navigate back to the add followers link, I can see that this user is already following this, so he can see an option of who all he can follow and what all people he is already following. So this is all about add followers. Now I can also, what I can do is I can do a retweet for a particular tweet. So I can simply use this button to retweet this particular tweet. So I can just click on this. Now I immediately see on my dashboard, I see retweeted by student 2. and which is the original tweet for student 3. So this is now available to my dashboard. Now if I go to the tweets DB again, if you would be able to see that there's a column called retweet from. So for this particular tweet, so this is tweeted by the student which is of ID 17, which is student 2, but this tweet was retweeted from student 3. So this actually belongs to student 3, but now this is my tweet as well. So this is just for displaying what we see in the dashboard. Now I can also, what I can do is I can do a search for any particular hashtag or any mentions. So if I go to my search button, using the search button I can navigate to the search page, wherein using this input field I can enter any hashes which says search for any hashes or users. So say suppose I want to search for all the tweets which have the hashtag UF, so I can do a search here. So this will give me a whole lot of tweets which have UF contained in them. So we can see recently this there was a tweet which was retweeted by student 2 which contained UF in it, and then student 3 itself had a UF in it, and student 2 also did a tweet with UF. So I can see all the tweets coming. These are all the pre tweets that I did on my application. So I can also do a mention search using @ and giving the name of the user that I want to search for. So say suppose I want to search for student 1. So I see that on my dashboard now. I see that there was one mention of student 1 here, and so there could be other user as well, but if say suppose student 2 is not available, so it won't give to me. Now I can check again for student 3 as well. So this is also not available. So I have an existing user called by my name in this DB, so I can see all those tweets which had me mentioned in them. So this is a quick implementation, and every time you want to navigate to your homepage, you can do via the homepage. You can again see what all tweets you have in your list. So now going back to how the application works, so these are all the routes that are available. So for my login I have the /login implementation which has a controller assigned to it, and similarly for register and following and search. So these are all the dashboard and the following routes that are available throughout the application. And for the implementation of JSON API and the WebSocket, so I have created 3 main sockets for the implementation. So one is which we see on the screen right now, the create socket link, which is doing a channel push on doing an add tweet. And similarly I created a create search socket which is for the search page. So here I do push on search mentions, and similarly I do a search on hashtags. So these are all the API endpoints that should have a mapping in the server side as well. So this is the client code. Now again we can see there is one more socket for followers. So this has a API endpoint as dashboard add followers. So these are all the API endpoints, and which would again be receiving the JSON response from as soon as the server returns anything to it. So like we see there is a channel.on. So as soon as the server returns some response using a search endpoint and providing this particular pattern, so this function would be executed. So now I can move back to the channels that we have created. So there are mainly 2 channels, which is dashboard and a search channel. So all the dashboard related things are under the dashboard channel, and the search things are moved on to the search channel. So as you can see on my screen, this is the join method, which every time a user wants to join this channel, he would come inside this function. And as soon as I am hitting an API with a tweet, whenever I am actually doing a tweet from here, so this is the endpoint that the server is handling. So this internally returns to me the list of tweets. And similarly I have a endpoint for retweet as well. So this is the so this would, after inserting in the DB, it would again return me the tweet that has been inserted, and then I can display it on my UI. Also you see we have a API endpoint for add followers in the similar fashion as we do for tweets. Now moving back to the search channel. So search channel has two major functionality: searching for a hashtag and searching for a mention. So every time I open a channel from the client using this keyword, this pattern, so this is the handle call for this particular pattern that would be searched by the server, and then it returns me all the tweets related to this particular hashtag, and similarly for all the mentions. So I think this is the whole overview of the overall application that I have. So it allows in the UI phase, it allows you to search for any particular value, and you can tweet, you can retweet, you can add a follower, you can do a search, as we saw throughout our application. And this was the major implementation using WebSockets, wherein every functionality is receiving a JSON response from the server, which is being handled by the channel.on functionality on at every client. So I think, yeah, that's it. Thank you.